So normally we would start with the Seahawks, but with baseball season right around the corner, we're going to start with your Seattle Mariners. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the 12th Inning Podcast. My name is Rich, joined as always by my buddy Mitch. It is just about baseball season. Now, the Seahawks, we do have some things to talk about this week with some coaching changes. It's been about a week, a little over a week as we're recording this since the Super Bowl, and we'll have some things to talk about for sure. But yeah, it's baseball season, so we figured why not switch up the order how we do these episodes and talk about the Seattle Mariners, who it's spring training time, and man, we've got some exciting stuff to get through for this episode. But Mitch, I want to start off with you. We talked about it a little bit last week, but how are you feeling going into your first baseball season, expecting to watch more than you ever have really before?
Super excited actually, especially about this Mariners team, especially with the way that last season ended. While it was heartbreaking, still an exciting season. And then, the Seahawks doing their thing. But I'm just excited to see this Mariners team. We did pick up like Brendan Donovan. Wasn't a pickup, but to see Colt Emerson, Colt Young, see how they do as well. Just because based on how they did how they did last season, just for what games they did get to play in, they did really well. I don't think we got to see as much as Cole Young or not Cole Young, but Colt Emerson as I would have liked to.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I'm also excited about this spring training. I want to see how those two do in spring training against, like, yeah, no one's going to be pushing 100%, but at least they're going to be going up against these guys in spring training and show what they've got.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially with, you mentioned Colt Emerson, we didn't get to see him up in the majors last year yet. He dominated in every single level that he's been in. And, if maybe the season was 50 games longer or something, we might have seen Colt Emerson, but that would just be ridiculous. So that is one of the most exciting storylines coming into spring training, is just seeing what guys like Colt Emerson can do. Can guys like Cole Young take that step? Dominic Canzone is somebody I definitely have my eye on for the season as well. He really took some big strides last year and struggled in the postseason. Unfortunately, he wasn't really able to kind of show up when you needed him to in the postseason. But honestly, if he can build off of some of the things he was doing in the regular season, I think Dominic Canzone really has an argument for that right field position. That's kind of a position battle right now with Victor Robles, Luke Raley. I don't think Luke Raley would really win the starting job, unfortunately. He's just, and maybe that's a little biased. He didn't play all that much last season, and when he did, he wasn't great. But I don't know. I think that right field starting position is kind of in between Dominic Canzone and Victor Robles. Obviously, center field, you got Julio. Left field, you got Randy. Those guys aren't going to really switch up too much. First base locked down with Josh Naylor. You got Luke Raley. That's where he's going to be the backup. Second base is kind of up in the air. Shortstop is fine. You have JP. That's going to be a question going into next year. But then you have third base and second base, which are kind of up in the air a little bit. Third base, it's kind of that position battle between Colt Emerson and between Brendan Donovan, two of the more exciting offseason stories. And then, second base, you have Cole Young, Ryan Bliss. We're gonna see what he has coming off of I think he tore his bicep last season, basically missed the entire last season. So where is he gonna be at? Being, he had to play an MLB inning in almost a little less than a year. And then, you have Leo Rivas. He had some moments. He's a good defensive second baseman. He's not an amazing offensive person, so I don't expect him to really do it. But you never know. You never know what strides he took. And someone that Gary Hill, who is one of the announcers for the Seattle Mariners, brought up on 710 Seattle Sports, the Wyman and Bob show, Michael Arroyo might be an option at second base, maybe in camp.
Are you sure it's not Elijah?
Piss off. Uh, yeah. So yeah, Michael Arroyo is someone a name he threw around, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. It's possible. He is going to be in spring training. He's not one of the names that is really being talked about, which is why it kind of took me by surprise a little bit when he brought it up. But it's an option for sure. The options are open. I'm really excited to see that third base battle, because like what I really want, and what I think the majority of Mariners fans want when it comes to this season is for either one of the positions to be clearly won, third base or second base. You know, if Colt Emerson takes a Julio like step in spring training, if Colt Emerson can win that job, Brendan Donovan gets to do what he's best at, which is being that Dylan Moore type utility role. He can go left field, right field. He can cover second base, shortstop even. I think he could probably cover, but like mostly he'd be covering like second base, third base. Give those guys some days off, especially with the fact that, like, okay, in a perfect world, I have Colt Emerson, and I'm sorry to your boy Ryan Bliss, but Colt Emerson and Cole Young as my starting third and second baseman. So then those guys don't have to have the pressure of like, I have to perform every day, because Brendan Donovan can give them days off. Like, he can take care of it. He's got you. Like, hey, kid, you're struggling. Take a rest day. Come back, get him tomorrow. Whatever. Like, he can play that role. So all in all, something that I thought was really interesting brought up is, when you're looking at this team, is this team better than the team that got to the ALCS? No, I wouldn't say so. You lost a lot of power in Jorge Polanco and Eugenio Suarez. Those are like the two big ones where it's like, ooh, if you lost that. You lost Mitch Garver. Yeah, I don't know if I'd really say he moves the needle one way or the other. I don't think he's signed anywhere yet, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Kind of crazy. Um, is this team better than the team that won the World Series? Or oh,
Oh,
that's
if
sad.
only. If
Oh,
only.
is this team better than the one that almost got to the World Series last year? No, I don't think so. But they are significantly, in leagues far and away, better than the team that went into spring training last year. That's exciting, frankly, because this is still a team with a rich farm system that can move pieces to get pieces at the deadline all throughout the year. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to take a step. Some other ones that could take a step this year are Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan. Now, Mitch, I don't know if you've seen much at all about what they've been doing in spring training. Do you have any, for some background? Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan have been turning heads in spring training. It's
Mhm.
been crazy. Any thoughts on some of the things that you've seen?
I don't know about Sloan too much, but I do know about Kate
Mm-hmm.
Anderson. I know that he struck out Randy Arozarena twice. One of them
Mm-hmm.
making Randy Arozarena throw his bat into the infield. So I saw that. That
Yes.
was hilarious. He also struck
Yeah.
out Cal Raleigh, so
Yep.
that was good to see. There was
Yep.
one other that he struck. Oh, Canzone. Um,
Yeah.
that
Yep.
to me, like, nothing against Canzone. Don't get me wrong, he's great, but he's also not a Rosarena or
He's not Cal
Raleigh.
Raleigh.
like
Yeah.
so so
Exactly.
like him striking him out, excellent. That is amazing to see. But it's not as impressive as striking out a Rosarena and Raleigh and a Rosarena then again a second time. So but Kate Anderson, amazing. I haven't seen too much about Sloan. I know a little bit. I know he's also turning heads. He's doing really well.
Yeah.
I do know that they're not really expecting Sloan to be up in the MLB quite yet, but Anderson's like a possibility from what I know.
Yeah, so depending on how injuries go, you could definitely see both of them this year.
Mhm.
But Cade Anderson has the quicker opportunity just because he's older. He played in college. He played in the College World Series. That's where he had that crazy. I think he had a no hit. He threw a no hitter in the College World Series, something like that. That's why he was drafted third overall. So yeah, I mean, he has some higher expectations, but I think Sloan has similar levels of talent. He's just a little younger. And so there is a world where we see both of these guys with the big league club at some point in the season, like looking super far ahead in the season. If they make the postseason, maybe these are guys where, like, yes, they're starting pitchers, but you could put them in the bullpen. I'm
Mhm.
sure their stuff would play in the bullpen. So these are guys that I would not be surprised if we see this season, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we don't. The only thing with that is the way the Mariners like to do things is they typically save their best pitchers. They don't really go to AAA. They don't go to AAA unless they have to
Yeah.
for a rehab start. Like guys like Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, things like that. Like that echelon of guys, they typically skip the Rainiers and get called straight up to the Mariners. So that's kind of what I'm expecting with these guys. I'm expecting them to start probably high A with Everett, and if they perform well there, then they go to Double A Arkansas, and from there, who knows? Who knows what could happen? So, Cade Anderson, Ryan Sloan, yeah, they're turning some heads. Colt Emerson has been impressive. He's looked solid. It's just nice that the squad's all back out. A lot of the WBC guys, like we talked about last week, they reported with the pitchers and catchers. Brendan Donovan reported before everybody, which is just lovely to see that kind of work ethic. But yeah, so like the World Baseball Classics, they're trying to get started, try and get ramped up a little bit earlier. Now, something that I think is going to be interesting coming this year with the World Baseball Classic, the fact that these guys are getting here early, ramping up early. Take guys like Julio. I think we touched on this a little bit last week, but I want to bring it up again, where someone like Julio is known for starting off really cold, having that late season surge and playing to an MVP caliber, where he's been top 7 in MVP voting in 3 out of the 4 years that he's been a major leaguer. Like, this guy turns into a crazy player towards the end of the year. The beginning of the year, he's just kind of average, which for someone of Julio's caliber is not. You can't have that. He's a superstar player. He needs to play like a superstar. Now, him having ups and downs and stuff, it's fine. That's why, like, if he always played like that, I'd have an issue. I don't have much of an issue because he shows up for you when he needs it. Unfortunate that Julio was the one who struck out to end our World Series hopes, but that gives him fuel. That gives him fire. It hasn't left him yet. Anyway, someone like Julio who starts cold, he's got to ramp up a little quicker for the WBC. They're playing at, like, I would probably guess 85% intensity. They're not going to be 100%, maybe 90, 95. I don't think they're going to be going 100%. It's just not smart. But the thing is, too, is like people are like, oh, the World Baseball Classic could lead to injuries. I don't know. Spring training leads to injuries, too. Shit happens. It's sports. But someone like Julio, who's going to have to ramp up a little quicker and get to a little bit of a different point than he would normally at this time of the year, is it possible that we see that second half Julio maybe a little, maybe not right out the gate, but he gets to start the season at a little bit more of an elevated point? Maybe we see an echelon of Julio we haven't seen yet. But it's going to be interesting to see for sure. And with like pitchers and things like that, like pitchers are honestly the ones that you kind of have to be extra worried about with injuries in the World Baseball Classic, because like someone's arm is not supposed to do that 100 times, but we only have relievers that are going to the World Baseball Classic. So they're not going to be pitching 5, 6, 7 innings, throwing 90 miles plus. Like they're going to be 1 or 2 relief stints. It's like we talked about before we recorded, like it's less than 2 weeks, the World Baseball Classic, so there's not going to be a ton of opportunities for them to pitch in the bullpen. So pitchers are where the most concern is, but the least concerning pitchers are the relief pitchers. So, yeah, I mean it's shaping up to be an exciting spring training. There's a lot of fun storylines. Like I said, the infield, watching the bullpen is going to be really interesting. Like I still wish that, I still hope they add a bullpen arm. I do think they're done until we get closer to trade deadline time, but I'd like to see them add one more bullpen arm. But I'm hearing a lot of good things about Jose Ferrer coming out of camp. Apparently he has looked good. Justin Hollander, the GM, was saying that he feels like there are some knobs and tweaks that they can mess with to elevate him to another level. If any team is going to develop somebody who maybe is middle of the road, maybe below average slightly, into someone who's above average, it's going to be the Mariners. So Jose Ferrer has apparently looked pretty good. Some of the other pile arms, there's some work that can be done with them. So the bullpen is going to be really interesting. I'm really going to have my eye on the second and third base battles, seeing what happens there. And honestly, I think my sneaky battle to watch for is going to be right field for sure. So definitely some things I'm going to be following. What are some of the battlegrounds, if you will, that you're kind of going to be focusing on?
Honestly, the biggest one for me is Colt Emerson, and I don't know, maybe that's a little bit of bias speaking because I love Colt Emerson. I've actually been
Yeah.
like, while I don't pay a ton of attention to baseball, I actually have been paying attention to him quite a bit just down in the minors,
Hmm.
and I think he's excellent. But again, that's
Yeah.
me not knowing a ton about baseball, but I think he's really good. And from what I've watched, what I've listened to from you, other baseball fans, that I watch, Mariner Mojo specifically, shout out to them. Just listening to them as well talk about Colt Emerson, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I do know baseball a little bit because like I think he's great and they do too, and they know way more than I do. You know way more than I do,
Yeah.
and everyone else. So everyone that I talk to that's super baseball, especially Mariners fans, say he's amazing. So I'm like, okay, maybe he is actually amazing. Like maybe it's not me being fully biased, but he's definitely one that I'm like excited to see, and I hope that he does well to make the Mariners and start on the Mariners this season. Because it would also be great to have him be able to start at third base and have Brandon Donovan just be, and have Cole Young start at second, and then have Brandon Donovan be able to be what he's great at, being that utility guy. Um,
Yeah,
because he can pretty much
absolutely.
play the whole field essentially, from what I know.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
wouldn't really need him at first base. Josh Naylor's kind of got that locked down, but I mean, I don't know. Brandon Donovan seems so utility that if Josh Naylor needs a day off or something, put Brendan Donovan there, and he probably can do it. But
And like Luke Rayleigh's injured or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
like Luke Rayleigh and Josh Naylor got first base locked down, but you have Brendan Donovan be your designated hitter until Cole Young needs a day off, or need him to be the designated hitter,
Yeah.
or Cole Emerson needs the day off or designated hitter, or whatever. But I think it would be good to see those two do really well. So Cole Young as well is also another one that I'm focused on. Cole Young and Cole
Yeah.
Emerson are probably the two that I'm really focused on. Just because I like seeing the young guys get those chances and make the starting team and everything, and not just get
Yeah.
suddenly called up in the middle of the season. Which, don't get me wrong, seeing a guy get called up is also awesome. Seeing him make his MLB debut middle of the season is amazing. But it would be really cool to
Yeah.
see both the, or I guess Cole Young's already made his MLB debut, but see Cole
Yeah.
Emerson make his debut on opening day. That would be
Yeah.
so cool.
I mean, being a Julio story would be crazy. Not to mention the fact, I don't even know if you know this, but especially for those who maybe don't follow baseball as closely, if there's a rule in baseball where if you have a top prospect who wins rookie of the year, you actually
Mm-hmm.
get a draft pick. You get like an early second round draft pick. So, there's some incentive there for sure to, if you think Colt Emerson is ready and is ready to light up the baseball world, hell yeah, call him up, have him make the opening day roster. He could be another Julio. Julio ended up winning that rookie of the year. So it's and Kyle Lewis actually from a few years ago. Unfortunately he didn't turn out to be much, just injuries just, got him in the ass, but he resulted in us getting a draft pick because of
Mm-hmm.
that. So the Mariners have always been good at developing. But the other thing there too, you have Brendan Donovan as that safety net. If Colt Emerson's not ready, don't force the guy. And
Yeah.
if you're Colt Emerson and you're not ready, cool. You just know what you got to work on, and that just gives you more time to be ready to really make a difference when it matters later in the season. So he doesn't have to be ready. It will be really cool if he ends up being ready. And again, also keeping an eye on guys like Ryan Bliss, Arroyo, Rivas. Who knows who could surprise us. I love watching the young guys. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what kind of steps Julio can take this year. Getting a full year of Josh Naylor is going to be incredible. We only had him to the second half. So getting a full year of Josh Naylor is going to be great. Obviously, Gino is going to be missed, but frankly, I'm going to miss Polanco more than I miss Gino. No offense to Gino, but just like I like Gino for the vibes, but Polanco was clutch. And Gino had a clutch factor too, but he just can't hit in T-Mobile Park for whatever reason. I don't understand it, but like I'm gonna miss the guys we lost, but like I'm excited to see what Julio can do. I'm excited to see this rotation. They're all healthy again, save for Logan Evans, who's unfortunately going to be out for the season. I can't remember if he's getting Tommy John or elbow surgery or something like that. He's getting surgery. He's going to be out for the season, so it does have some questions with the rotation, but your starting five at least are ready to go. Emerson Hancock's going to be interesting. It seems like they are, they're operating with him as a starter as normal with spring training, but he looked really good in the bullpen. So I hope that they end up, giving him a shot in the bullpen because he looked great in the couple of posts. I mean, there was one postseason bullpen appearance where he wasn't wonderful, but like he was solid. I think he looked better in the bullpen coming out of the bullpen than he did being a starter. But yeah, just a ton of interesting stories. It's baseball season, y'all. Like it's that time of year. If you don't know anything about me, like baseball is when I can go for hours. So we're getting into my into my season. So that's all I got going on the Mariners. Mitch, do you have anything for us?
No, that's all I got.
All right, well, let's move on. We've got a little bit for your Seattle Seahawks. So it's been a little over a week since the Seattle Seahawks won their Super Bowl. You'd think that things would be kind of quiet. And on the player side of things, yeah, largely. They signed a lot of practice squad guys. Nothing super crazy of note, at least not that was interesting to me. If there was something interesting from that, let us know in the comments. But not a whole lot of player movement. Some questions around what are they going to do with K9. I've seen people throw around, do they franchise tag him? Apparently, that's going to be really unlikely. Seattle has only tried to franchise tag two people in the John Schneider era. And one of them, they didn't even keep the player. They just ended up trading him. It was Frank Clark, traded to the Chiefs in 2019. So the Seahawks have not been known to franchise tag people, so it's highly unlikely. K9 is going to have some decent market value. Winning Super Bowl MVP, he's projected to be one of the sixth. Have one of the six highest contracts in running backs. So he's going to be a pretty penny. I do still think that there is some chance for him to maybe take a cut, take a team friendly deal because he has expressed such an interest in joining the Seahawks again. Some people have said something along the lines of 3 years, 33 million. Some people have said 3 years, 27 million with 20 million guaranteed. The Seahawks have $60 million apparently in cap space. That's obviously not going to be a 100% number, but generally somewhere around 60 million is what the Seahawks have to work with for this offseason. And they've got to sign some big people if they want to keep people. Jackson Smith-Njigba and Devin Witherspoon, they're eligible for an extension. And I think the earlier you get them extended, the better. That's going to eat into your cap space. Those guys are not going to be cheap. They're going to be towards the top tier of their position groups. And cornerbacks and wide receivers are expensive. You also need to look at, do you want to bring back Boye Mafe? I can't remember if Nwosu is on that list, but I know Tariq Woolen is. A lot of different guys are eligible for free agency, like we mentioned last episode. And so 60 million, you got to find a way to spread that around. You got to hope that some guys make some player friendly deals. Maybe you bring in new people because obviously, it's naive to think that this team will be 100% the same. That's never going to happen. I don't know if that's happened in the history of sports. They're going to bring in new guys. They're going to draft new guys. Like some people have speculated maybe the Seahawks don't re-sign K9 and they sign because apparently the second round running backs are looking really, really good. Maybe they go and draft a running back. It's possible, with some questions with Charbonnet, you'd have Halani and whoever you sign, you wouldn't have much of a veteran presence. But, so that's a possibility. There's a lot of moving parts with this offseason. But something that has moved a lot is the coaches. There has been a lot of coaching changes so far. A lot of guys leaving. A lot of people are following Clint Kubiak to the Raiders, which is not surprising. He's gonna surround himself with the guys he trusts. I do know that a pretty high end. Forgive me, I'm terrible with names, but I know that one of the Baltimore Ravens coaches decided to come to the Seahawks, play to be under Mike Macdonald.
That's Zach Orr.
Yeah, the big name that's been signed, has been hired, I guess, by the Seahawks is Brian Fleury from the 49ers. He was their 49ers tight end coach and then was also their running game coordinator this year as well. He was signed on to fill that role that Clint Kubiak vacated. He will be the Seahawks offensive coordinator. And honestly, I'm excited about that. We don't know a whole lot about this guy. He wasn't a coordinator, so some of the position group coaches kind of slip into the background a little bit. But think about it. He's on the Niners. The Niners are well known for having a wonderful run game and a fantastic tight end group. And he's familiar with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's familiar with him. They both were with the 49ers back in 2023. So, I think it's a really good signing for the Seahawks, really good coach hiring. And so far, I was worried with all the coaches leaving, especially with Clint Kubiak going. But honestly, a lot of the guys that they've been picking up, I've been feeling pretty pretty hyped about. I feel pretty comfortable that this team and its offense specifically is still going to be pretty potent. Um, yeah, I mean, it's off season. It's going to slow down for the Seahawks. It's going to be interesting to see who they sign. The new league day is technically, I think, March 3rd. That's when they can like franchise tag guys. Guys can start signing with new teams and whatnot. So we're still a couple weeks out before we're going to see any serious movement with the Seahawks. It's just going to be coaching related right now. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Mitch, anything over the past week? I've seen the Seahawks get their rings fitted and stuff. Anything over the past week that's kind of caught your eye with the Seahawks? I know things have slowed down, but anything interesting?
Nothing big other than the coaches leaving. Um,
Yeah,
mainly just leaving to the Raiders, but
yeah.
apparently
Well,
the Raiders, being in Vegas, they're just being like Vegas and can only steal from other teams. They they don't know any other way,
yeah,
and they're just trying to become the Las Vegas Seahawks. So, because
yeah.
they see how
Honestly,
well we
it's
do, and they're trying to do that. Because the only thing that gets touchdowns in Vegas are the planes.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It definitely is the Las Vegas Seahawks for sure. It'll be interesting to see how they do. I'm excited to see Clint Kubiak get that head coaching position. I'm excited to see what he can do. I will say something I saw the general manager for the Raiders, Spayek, I think his name is. Clint Kubiak wasn't going to be at the parade. He wasn't going to go to the Seahawks Super Bowl parade and because he just wanted to get to work, and I respect that. Like part of me feels a little offended, like wow, fuck you, you want a Super Bowl, you didn't want to go to the parade, but not like nothing big. Like I get it, he wants to get ready for the season, he wants to do right by his team, he's got to impress as well. So I don't blame the guy. I'm just like, okay, it's a little side eye. I'm not super angry at him. He wasn't going to go to the tour. He wasn't going to go to the parade, but the GM of the Raiders was like, "No, you should go. Like you will regret not going to the parade. You're not going to regret not going a day early." And so you know what, Raiders, you have a little bit more of my respect. I have a little bit of respect for that because I think that's, like no, you're going to need this experience with your guys. I think that's really cool that the GM did it. So the Raiders are going to be really interesting to pay attention to this year. It's going to be really fun, especially if they end up drafting Mendoza, like everybody and their mother says is going to happen. Gino gets to play that backup role again. If he's even still on the Raiders, it's been rumored that he's going to get released.
No,
Oh, speaking,
Gino's not a horrible quarterback. He's just a horrible starting quarterback. He is a backup. He is a career backup quarterback. That is all he's good for. He has proven
yeah,
time and time and time again that he is not a fucking starter. And anyone that thinks he is a starter, boy, do you not know football at fucking all. He is a career start.
yeah,
He is a career starter. He is a career backup. He's not a starting quarterback. He's just not.
yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And it sucks. He's got some talent for sure, but frankly, I would take Drew Lock over Geno Smith.
Oh, 100%.
God, I wish Drew Lock could get a starting opportunity. I recently came across that Drew Lock masterclass drive versus the Eagles. Just like some of the throws he was making, it's like, damn, like I it sucks. It's like he's got an opportunity to be a starter and he's just struggled. And it's just like he's the perfect equivalent to in baseball. There's what people like to refer to as a quad A player, where it's like you're too good for for AAA, but you're not quite good enough to be good at MLB. So you're a quad A player. Drew Lock seems like that, but for Seattle. And honestly, I hope he never leaves. Um, but I also hope he goes somewhere and gets an opportunity and shows out because I would just love to see Drew Lock in the playoffs, leading a team to the playoffs. Who knows? He's still young. Crazier things have happened. But yeah, it's going to be the Seahawks offseason is going to be interesting. We'll see what they do. They've got a lot of players. Something I want to mention, I was at the Seahawks parade. If you happen to be seeing this video, because I know some people were at the parade, asked for the podcast. So if you were at the parade and you met me at the parade, say hi in the comments. It was really, really cool saying hi to all of you. It was a blast. And yeah, I got to run in the parade. It was kind of crazy. I was trying to weave my way through the crowd, and all of a sudden I'm running in the parade. I don't know how that happened. So, which could have been there, dude, but it's okay. The Seahawks will win another one. And actually, before that even happens, the Mariners are going to win the World Series. And that parade, you thought the Seahawks one was crazy. Whew.
That one will
Seattle's going to
be
burn this. Seattle's going to
insane.
burn the city down.
So, so I want to bring something up about the parade real quick because you say
hmm
that Seattle will burn the city down. People have been talking about it like crazy. People who don't don't live in Washington, don't live in the Seattle area, but we're here for the parade and everything. And someone, I cannot remember his name, but he was talking about how he's been to a bunch of different Super Bowl parades, especially like when the Eagles won, and they basically
hmm
burn their city anytime the Eagles do well. Like
Yeah.
Philadelphia they're the worst fans pretty much as far as how they treat their city when their teams win. And he goes, there's just you go to all these Super Bowl parades and it's just like they just destroy stuff. They destroy cars. They leave a huge mess and everything. He's like, and then you got Seattle. They just go and win the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. Have this huge ass parade. People are standing on top of
Over a
stuff and
million
everything.
people.
People are standing on top of stuff. They accidentally broke something. An hour after the parade finished, they already raised enough money to fix it. He's like, and then
Yeah.
also an hour after, it was like 2 hours after the parade, Seattle's all cleaned up. It looks like the
Yeah.
parade never even happened. He's like, you got Seattle fans who are like, who go forever. They go 12 years without winning a Super Bowl, get to finally celebrate again and go, guys, we got to clean this up. We made a mess. We got to clean it
Yeah.
up.
No. I mean, we care about our environment over here, baby. I will say I did. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to the rest of it, but I did get a piece of the confetti. I grabbed a handful, but I guess it didn't make the trip back. I did get. Someone gave me a drink. It was a good experience. I can't wait for the next one. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, you got
I
something
didn't get to go to the
special.
parade, but I did get the parade hat. So
Yeah, yeah. So just really, really cool. Can't wait to see what the city does for the Mariners one.
they'll throw a super big parade. They'll be extremely happy. We'll break some stuff, and then we'll have a
We'll
GoFundMe
pay for it.
within an
Do you
hour
do you
to
think
fix it.
do you think that the a Mariners parade would be more like, do you think, because there were over a million people at that Seahawks parade, do you think there would be more people that would come to the Mariners one?
100%, because that's not because well, yes, this is an amazing feat for the Seahawks. They won a Super Bowl 12 years later. Perfect, obviously. Let's not go another
Yeah,
12 years, please. Let's just win back to
please.
back.
I
Uh,
don't want to I don't want to have to wait until 2038 to see the next Super Bowl parade.
So let's just win back to back. But also, I do think more people show up for this because it wouldn't just be the Mariners winning a World Series. It would be them appearing in their very first World Series and then winning it. And
Yeah.
people have been waiting so long for the Mariners just to make the World Series that
Yeah.
I think way more people would show up. I think people who aren't even fans of the Mariners would show up and just be like people who don't even pay attention to baseball would know the Mariners just finally won a World Series. Not only appeared in their first World Series, but won it as well. And I think that would just be that's amazing
Let
right
me
there.
let me put it to you this way of why I think the Mariners parade would have more people, because you said it perfectly that like people who don't even care about baseball would probably be there. If you ever watched the documentary The History of the Seattle Mariners on the Secret Base channel, there's a phrase that's used in that to describe just the wackiness of the Mariners and why the fans just root for the Mariners in a different way. The Mariners, they're protagonists. They're not. I can't remember the whole phrase. It was they're not something and they're protagonists. Either way, they're not just a team you root for, you know, and that is why like they just have so much of their own staying power because of what they've meant to the city for so long. That, like you said, people who don't even care about baseball would be there, and it's going to be really special. It's a really special time to be in Seattle right now in the sports world. I mean, the Sonics thing, that's gaining traction. The Seahawks are World Series champions.
The Seahawks are
Uh,
Super Bowl champions, not World Series.
That's yeah. I mean, it's basically the same. The Kraken are, they're right in the thick of it for the playoff race. The Sounders are doing. I mean, it's a good time. It's a good time to be in Seattle. Um, so yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? It's that one weird spot where it's like we got no games going on after this episode goes out. I mean, Friday is the first Mariners game of the season. It'll be spring training. It's gonna be really fun. Obviously spring training, you don't take it as seriously as you do the regular season, but
It's
it's gonna
preseason.
be interesting to yeah, but it's still going to be really good to see what some of these guys look like. Like we've been talking about. One last thing, I guess, before we sign off. Well, before that, Mitch, do you have anything you'd like to add before I have one more thing before we sign off?
No, that's all I got.
Yeah, light news week. um, the light news weeks are always yap sessions by me. Anyway, I like NASCAR. And this last Sunday was the Daytona 500. So just real quick, I want to shout out Tyler Reddick for winning the Daytona 500. Hell yeah. It was the 25th anniversary of Dale Earnhardt's passing, which was kind of crazy. On the third lap of the race, everybody did a number 3 salute, which was cool. And it was a good race. It was a good race. It was fun.
I did see a
I like
video
it.
on that actually, as far
Uh-huh.
as the third lap and everything. And it was crazy because, normally it's everybody's cheering, everybody's talking, stuff's going on. The stadium apparently, other than the cars, of course, went dead silent for that whole lap.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
And that's awesome. That I just wanted to bring
I
that
mean,
up real quick because I thought that was
that
awesome. I don't pay attention to NASCAR nearly as much as you, and just seeing that was really cool. Just only hearing the
I mean
cars.
that this this just shows you how important Dale Earnhardt is even 25 years after his passing. Like the something you should watch, honestly, Mitch, if you have any interest in it, because I think the story of Dale Earnhardt is really interesting. There's a really good documentary that Fox put out called "We Lost Dale Earnhardt." They aired it before the Daytona 500, and it was a really good documentary on that day and kind of what he meant to the sport and what losing him meant to the sport, both the positive ripple effects it had for the safety and just obviously the negative ripple effects of just not having that anchor there. So yeah, no, it was really cool seeing that salute. Um, and yeah, Tyler Reddick, hell yeah, love to see that he won that. Um, Michael Jordan is now a Daytona 500 champion. It's really really cool seeing NASCAR kind of get thrust into the limelight. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on about NASCAR. That's not what we're here for. This is a 12th inning podcast, Seahawks Mariners. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time for sure, and looking forward to baseball on Friday, dude. We're gonna have some baseball to watch or listen to on Friday, and I'm excited. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here on the 12th inning podcast. Thank you guys all so much for listening. As always, leave a like, follow, comment. We love getting the comments and stuff. It's always fun whenever we get to interact with people on TikTok. But what do you guys think about the Mariners season coming up? What do you think about the some of the decisions the Seahawks are going to have to make in the offseason? Let us know in the comments below. But as always, I am Rich. This is Mitch. And yeah, this has been the 12th inning podcast. Like we always say, Trident's up. Go Mariners.
12 is one. Go Hawks.
Baseball season around the corner, baby. Let's go.